Hey guys, it's Cayley. I am back with another thrift haul. I have a bunch of unlisted inventory right here that I haven't even seen that came from one of our sourcers at the bins, and I'm going to share them with you today. We probably have roughly in this tote about 30 items that I'm going to go through. They will be a mix of high sell-through rate items, style-based stuff, and factor stacking. Before we dive into today's thrift haul, I wanted to take a second and talk about one of my favorite companies for poly mailers. I ship almost everything out in Giro Pack poly mailers, even this bulk stuff that you see behind me. Giro Pack is an online shipping supplies company that sell all kinds of mailing solutions. I mostly order their poly mailers, and I usually get the 10 by 13s, which I stocked up on too, but I also sometimes order the larger poly mailers for items like this. And with fall and winter here, buyers are buying more bulky items like these ones, and I need to stock up on the larger ones. I also just realized that they actually have some different colors for the different sizes that you have. And so since I mostly ordered the 10 by 13s, I didn't even know that these beautiful greens were available. So that was an exciting surprise. Their website is super clean and simple. I always pick poly mailer, you choose your size, and then you pick your color. And you can also order in bulk, so the more you buy, the cheaper it's going to be per piece. They're some of the most affordable prices I've ever seen on poly mailers, and they really hold up. I trust Giro Pack to ship out hundreds of items, and I think that you'll love them. If you're interested in buying either the 10 by 13 or some larger poly mailers for your bulkier items, I'll have a link and coupon code down below so you can get a discount off of your first purchase. All right, so the first thing we have is a style-based piece. This is by the brand Charlotte Russe. Definitely not a brand that you want to go around picking up, but in Y2K, they do have some cute pieces. This is a baby doll top, fitted at the bust, Swiss dot details in pastel. I will use the keywords Y2K, baby doll, and probably also coquette with this just because of the pastel colors. And I'll likely be listing that somewhere between 25 and 30. All right, next up is a brand I haven't seen in a while. It is Linktree. In the men's department, this brand does have a pretty decent following, and depending on what you get, can have a higher sell-through rate or a higher ASP. This is a Linktree men's sweater, kind of like a sweatshirt actually, with some elbow patch details, and this will likely sell for around $25. All right, next up we have very high sell-through rate brand is Cozy Earth. They make a lot of sleepwear and just cozy pieces, and I think because of that, they're very plain and often overlooked. A lot of their stuff is made out of bamboo. These appear to be a pair of men's shorts. These are either lounge or sleepwear. I'm not sure, but at least $25 and up on this brand. You should definitely check them out. Like I said, sell-through is pretty high on most of their stuff. All right, next up is a category that I love getting right now. Not brand-based at all. This is just Goodwill, which is not a brand I recommend necessarily picking up, but men's cardigans. Very, very trendy category. The cardigans can fall into lots of style aesthetics, such as preppy, academia. This one's definitely leaning more towards dark academia. And this also has the shawl sweater. It is full button and it has a heathered colorway. We'll likely list that for $25 to $30. Something else that is very trendy in a category we're looking for are men's corduroy pants. Every single year, these also increase in sell-through in just about any brand. And this is the brand Territory Ahead, which makes some pretty quality pieces. These are a men's size extra large, pull on straight leg pants. And browns are very trendy right now. Tans, different shades of browns. This one is kind of like a camel color brown, kind of hard to see because of the lighting, but very trendy color in this shade as well. I think we'll probably list those for around $35. All right, next up, men's sweaters, especially chunky knit. I've talked about this 100 times. J. Crew's a great brand to look for in chunky sweaters, especially in the men's department. This is a men's size medium, very nice forest green, also a trendy color. Basically the earthy tones right now, earthy tones and jewel tones. The darker stuff is doing really well. So this earthy tone should perform well. This also has some like 3D knit Fair Isle details, which should also increase its value. I could see this going, honestly, I don't even know. I think I need to look up the exact style, but I would say at least $35 and higher. Some J. Crewman stuff, depending on the style you have, can go for over $100. That's why I say it kind of just depends. This could lean into so many things. But I think I'm going to lean more into holiday with this one just because of the shade of the green. All right, we've been picking up a lot of cashmere at the bins. This is Garnet Hill. This brand does not have the best sell-through anymore, but in cashmere, there is a following. So I always love finding Garnet Hill cashmere. This one is cable knit detail. It also is a longer length, which is going to help increase its value, and it is full length sleeves. I'd have to do a comp on this, but at least probably 30 to 40 on that. All right, this is something I've never heard of before. A dress called Jagger and Stone. I think this is just a style-based piece. It's very dark coquette, kind of has those milkmaid vibes, but darker colors. Big exaggerated puff sleeves, super trendy right now. This could go so many different ways. I could see whimsy goth. I could see dark coquette, milkmaid. I could see vamp, witchy, all of the things. I'm probably going to start steering away from the more Halloween sounding keywords like witchy and vamp, but that definitely would have been a good one for around that time. Okay, next up are a pair of women's polo Ralph Lauren pair of cargo pants. Cargo pants are very trendy, and Y2K women's pants, when they are low rise and have some unique details, can do well. These are a pair of crop style, but they're in a great brand. They're kind of that grungy colorway I was talking about, and they're by an elevated brand. So at least 25, if not way more for that. All right, here is a dress brand that I love finding. This one is very under the radar. I actually just found myself at a thrift store 2 of these, and then it looks like she found one at the bins. It is April Cornell. You definitely want to know this label. This is a women's pretty plain, minimalist looking dress. This is very like Edwardian, cottagecore, lightweight. It also seems oversized for its size, so we'll use all of those keywords in our listing. April Cornell dresses, it really just kind of depends on what's available, but I would say probably 30 and up for that dress. Some of them go closer to 60, so it just, again, depends. All right, next up is a Free People item. I love selling Free People still. There are some things I focus on, such as more substantial pieces, certain styles, and then larger sizes. So this one is a size large, which is going to significantly increase its value. It's also oversized, long tunic. It's long sleeve. It's thermal. So I'll make sure to put thermal in my keywords because Free People thermals are something that people are looking for. And it also has a little baby doll neckline and bust as well. I don't know the style name on that. She probably looked that up, but I'm guessing at least 30 and up. All right, next up, this is a completely unbranded style-based piece. I've talked about this so many times, but these little open knit items that can be layered perform really well in lots of different style aesthetics. You just have to know how to market them and get them to the right buyer. This one could go so many different ways. It's got fringe on the bottom. This one's definitely Western vibes with the button and the fringe, but it could also go festival, Coachella, it could go fairy grunge, it could go whimsy goth, it could go for lots of different things, even boho. And that one will probably list around 25. All right, this feels like cashmere also. Is this a wrap? It is very nice. Okay, it is like a wrap poncho type thing. This is 360 cashmere. I come across this brand pretty often, but it's not usually in good condition. It is more of a bread and butter cashmere brand. However, more substantial pieces like a poncho tend to do even better. I could see that going for 30 to 35. All right, we're still picking up men's thermals. This is a Y2K American Eagle men's thermal. So we'll use all of those keywords in our title, as well as waffle. And that should sell for usually 25 is what I've been selling them for. I've been selling a ton of those on Depop. That video will probably come out before this, so you'll probably have seen them already. But tons of men's thermal shirts in Depop selling for around 20 to 30. Great bread and butter on there. This is just Knox Rose. This is a completely style-based piece. It is an oversized, larger size cardigan with some Nordic details, but this could also go Southwestern. So we'll probably market it both ways, and we'll make sure to include keywords like chunky and oversized. Oversized is a very popular factor right now. And so if you have something that's oversized, you definitely want to get that in your title. People love cozy, exaggerated things right now. I mean, look at me, I'm wearing a very, very oversized Aerie sweatshirt. That's what people are into right now. And so if you can capitalize on that and press into that in your title and get it to the right buyer, it's going to be more likely to sell. All right, next up, another corduroy piece. This is just J. Jill. I do find that J. Jill corduroy pieces perform pretty well for me. This one's just a size medium, which I normally try to stick to larger sizes in this brand, but this is a substantial piece, a corduroy jacket, longer length. It also is a gorgeous jewel toned color with this deep, darker red. This could go so many different ways, but I've seen a lot of corduroy jackets being marketed like towards the Gilmore Girls aesthetic. So that's probably what I'm going to attempt to do. That's probably going to go for anywhere from 35 and up. Okay, next up, we have another velvet burnout piece. This one is completely unbranded. It is a full-length dress with some floral Asian Y2K inspired print. This one is, okay, I thought it was a wrap, but it's not. It just has a little tie for the back for shaping. Velvet burnout things for me and just about anything are selling, so we're picking up all of them from the bins. Since this is a longer length dress, it should bring us more money. I'm guessing at least 35, probably much more than that. But this is velvet burnout. So there's velvet and then there's some pieces where it looks like it's been burned off. That is velvet burnout and very, very trendy right now. I actually just, we just blew up on Facebook. We're actually blowing up on a lot of the social media platforms, short form wise, for our Resellers Edge accounts. And I recently posted, recently meaning like a month ago, posted this Chico's velvet burnout jacket. And I was just talking about velvet being a trending factor. And for some reason that video, now that we're like in the season, has taken off. I think it's definitely over 250,000 views already, but I think it's like headed towards even more. And I had a ton of people asking me to buy the jacket from that reel, which was obviously not its intended purpose. It's already done sold. It's gone. So they're kind of disappointed, but it just showed me how much demand there is for velvet burnout pieces, because so many strangers that knew nothing about Resellers Edge and did not care that it was a reseller account wanted to buy that jacket because they thought it was so gorgeous. So velvet burnout, very, very trendy. Make sure you include it in your title if you do find one. All right, here's another pair of men's corduroy pants. We have J. Crew again. Again, J. Crew in the men's department, such a great brand to factor stack with, especially on the winter and fall trends. This one will likely sell for around 25 to 30. All right, this looks like another style-based piece. It is, the brand's actually ripped, so I'm not sure what it is. This is a silk Y2K top with Asian-inspired print and silhouette. And we're gonna list this one for $25. I could totally see Rachel Green wearing that in Friends. All right, so we have a plus size top. This is one of my favorite brands to get in plus size recently, Land's End. A lot of demand on this. This is a size 2X and it is a linen piece, so factor stacking here. We're gonna list that for around $25. Looks like we have another pair of cargo pants here. This is by 511 Tactical. This brand does not have a 100% sell-through rate anymore, but I do find that their ripstop stuff still performs well, and this is ripstop. Not sure if you can tell, there's like hatch marks throughout. That's the fabric that prevents it from ripping. And so if you have ripstop on any cargo pants that you have, or just anything in general, I would definitely include it in your title. These will likely only sell for $25 because, like I said, that brand has taken a hit recently as a whole. All right, this is a style-based piece. This is Gimmicks by BKE. This is another one of those semi-open hit fringy cardigans. This one, very similar to the other one, could go Western because of the fringe. It could also go fairy grunge. It could go whimsy goth, and lots of different things. We'll likely list that for around $25. All right, this, I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a band hoodie. It says Tulle. It is a Tulle modern band sweatshirt / hoodie, men's, with some spell out details. Excellent condition. Some of the modern band stuff does perform well, typically in the larger sizes and the more substantial pieces like hoodies. This will likely sell for $25 and up, unless it's some kind of a special piece that might go for even more. We don't typically pick up modern band stuff, so I'm guessing that when she looked that up, it was really good. Okay, this is another unbranded piece, and we love it. It is another open knit crochet style item. This one is blue. Again, this could go so many different ways. We will likely do fairy grunge for this one and list it for $25. And then the last piece, the exact same thing. This is just by the brand Notations. This is a little cropped jacket, 3/4 length sleeve. This is a sheer lacy item. Exact same keywords on this one. You can see just how much of that stuff we can find and bulk up our sales. But that is the end of today's thrift haul. I'll be having more. Make sure you subscribe down below. We do a lot of thrift hauls here, and I am ramping up my thrift hauls. I have so much stuff to show you guys. We focus again on high sell-through rate polos. We also focus on style-based pieces, and we focus on factor stacking. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.